You've been lied to about discipline. They told you it's about waking up early, checking boxes, feeling good about yourself. That's a child's version of control. Discipline is the weapon kings use to rule silently while fools entertain themselves. It is a cold-blooded art. Not pretty, not public, not praised. You don't do it to look good. You do it so when the world burns, you are the last man standing with a calm breath and blood on your hands. The weak crave motivation. The powerful operate in silence. They don't need permission. They don't need energy. They don't even need a reason. They do it because it must be done and because they're addicted to control. While others chase dopamine, you'll become the architect of your own mental prison, and then you'll dominate from inside it. You'll train when it's boring, starve your impulses, punish your weaknesses like they're traitors in your court. That's how kings rise, not through emotion, but through structure, soaked in silence. If you're looking for comfort, click away now. This isn't made to inspire you. This is a transmission to the few who are ready to kill the weaker version of themselves. You will walk through fire. Discipline will not make you happy. It will make you respected, feared, remembered. And if you have the spine to stay with me, by the end of this video, you won't be the same man watching it now. You'll be carved in steel. Comment this right now if you're one of the rare few. I will rule myself like a tyrant. Now stay sharp, because what comes next will rewire your mind. The first execution. Kill your weaker self. You don't need more motivation. You need a funeral, a silent execution of the weak version of you that's still breathing somewhere inside your habits. That soft, impulsive, emotional version of you who worships comfort like it's a god. He has no place in this life you say you want. You won't negotiate with him. You won't give him a warning. You drag him into the mental courtyard. You strip him of excuses and you end him without a word. That's what discipline begins with: blood. The first kill is always internal. The reason you're undisciplined isn't because you don't have goals. It's because you haven't declared war. You still think you can build a stronger life while dragging dead weight. You can't. You have to cut. Coldly. The weaker you clings to distraction, validation, softness, delay. He's not just unfit, he's hostile. Every time you scroll when you should be sharpening, it's him. Every skipped rep, every broken word, it's his whisper. That whisper must become unrecognizable, because one day you will wake up either ruled by him or ruling over him. This isn't self-improvement. This is self-eradication. You're not adding new habits. You're stripping the fat. You're erasing the need for praise. You're burying the need to be understood. You don't rise by building. You rise by burning. By standing in a room with no applause, no witnesses, no dopamine, and doing the work like a cold-blooded executor. No feelings, no fanfare. Just focus and fire. Don't wait for a breakdown to begin this. Start the kill today. Remove one weakness. Remove one excuse. Remove one comfort that's protecting the weaker you. And when you do, I want you to comment it below like a sentence carried out by a sovereign man. Write this: the execution has begun. This is the first cut. Clean, silent, irreversible. The war isn't ahead of you. It's inside you. And the first victory is not public. It's personal. The art of ruthless self-government. You want power? Start with this. Govern yourself like a tyrant rules a collapsing city. No mercy, no democracy, no votes from the emotional mob inside your head. You don't ask your feelings for permission. You issue commands. The weaker version of you is still whispering, still lurking, and it's your job to lock him in a mental dungeon and throw away the key. That's what self-government means. The voice inside your head isn't a suggestion box. It's a war room, and your orders aren't to be negotiated. They're to be obeyed. You wake up, you act. You feel nothing, you still act. You fail, you act again. Discipline isn't a mood, it's law. You make it law that if it's on your schedule, it happens. No feelings, no excuses. The same way a ruler crushes rebellion in his court, you crush hesitation the moment it rises. When your body says rest, your mind says keep moving. When your mind says quit, your discipline says shut up. You are both the dictator and the soldier, the king and the executioner. You enforce your own rules with brutality. This world doesn't reward intentions, it rewards structure. The men you respect, they're not better than you. They're stricter with themselves. They rule over their urges like a commander rules over an army, harshly. They don't hope for progress, they command it. And when weakness shows up, they don't debate it, they punish it. You must become your own warden, your own judge, your own punisher. Ruthless self-government means your internal world is no longer a democracy. It's an empire under control. No one will tell you this because it's easier to sell you comfort. But I'm not here to comfort you. I'm here to weaponize you. And that starts when you seize your own mind like it's enemy territory. So take one moment today, one moment where the weaker you tries to speak, and shut him down without hesitation. Then comment this below as your first official decree. I am now ruled by no one, not even myself. You want to be untouchable? Then you must first become unbreakable by the enemy that lives in your own head. Dominate your time like a tyrant. A man who doesn't rule his time is already owned, not by people, by distraction, by noise, by the invisible empire of comfort that robs him of every hour he'll never get back. Your day is either a battlefield or a feeding trough. You're either attacking it or being eaten alive by it. Time doesn't care about your goals. It only respects one thing: command. And if you don't issue it orders, someone else will. Your time must be militarized. Not managed, not tracked, militarized. You plan your days like a tyrant prepares for war. No open gaps, no leniency. Your calendar isn't a to-do list. It's your territory. Every hour on it is a sovereign region, and your job is to defend it with blood if necessary. You don't allow ambushes, no random calls, no loose commitments, no reacting. You are not available. You are not casual. You are not scrolling while Rome burns. The disciplined man treats his time like a warlord treats land, to be conquered, patrolled, and protected. Weak men lose time like loose change, scattered everywhere, collected by thieves. You, on the other hand, become so structured that even your rest is a weapon. You recover on schedule. You train on time. You eat with precision. You cut meetings that don't feed your empire. You build habits so sharp they slice the neck of distraction before it even gets through the door. Your clock becomes your blade, and every wasted minute, a bloodstain on your honor. You want to know who's dangerous. It's not the loud one. It's the man whose life is so systemized, it feels like standing next to a machine. He doesn't need alarms. He doesn't need reminders. His day is hardwired, cold, controlled, ruthless. His time serves him, not the world. That's the kind of man you become when you treat your time like territory. Scarce, valuable, non-negotiable. If you're ready to command every hour like a sovereign, speak it into existence and comment this: my time fears me now. Now sharpen your schedule, because the clock isn't ticking, it's testing you. Weaponize boredom. Train when no one's watching. Boredom isn't weakness, it's the battlefield where power is forged, but no one told you that. You've been taught to escape it, stimulate it, entertain it. That's how they keep you docile. But the dangerous ones, they sit in it. They marinate in silence until their nervous system stops screaming for pleasure. Because once you can outlast boredom, you can outlast everyone. The world belongs to the man who trains in the dark while the rest chase noise. Most people crack in silence. That's where their demons speak the loudest. That's when they reach for distraction like a drug. But you learn to smile in that silence. You build routines so brutal and so boring they'd break a civilian. You stack reps when no one's watching. You sharpen in private while the others perform in public. And by the time they notice you, it's too late. You've built something they can't copy: momentum under pressure. Every repetition in boredom is a contract with your future self. a quiet promise that you will not be ordinary. While others crumble without stimulation, you evolve, slowly, painfully, silently. But make no mistake, boredom is not the absence of action. It's the arena where you become a machine. It's the threshold between the man you are and the beast you could be. You just have to outlast the noise. You won't get applause for this part. There's no trophy for showing up to practice when it's raining and no one gives a damn. But this is where men are separated from shadows, when nothing is exciting and you still execute, when it's dull and you still dominate. That's what discipline really looks like. Ugly, repetitive, ignored by the world, until it's undeniable. If you're the type of man who builds quietly in the shadows, say it now in the comments. Boredom obeys me. Because when you learn to weaponize silence, boredom isn't an enemy anymore. It becomes your greatest ally. Discipline is a weapon, not a virtue. They told you discipline is noble. They lied. Discipline isn't noble. It's lethal. It's not some moral badge to wear. It's a sharpened blade for people who know how to use it. The world praises discipline when it's soft, clean, and inspirational. But real discipline is ugly. It's not made to impress. It's made to conquer. And if you think discipline makes you good, you've already lost. It doesn't make you good. It makes you dangerous. Because when it's in the hands of a focused mind, it becomes pure domination. Discipline isn't for balance. It's for control. You don't practice it to feel spiritual. You practice it to create leverage, to stretch time, to stack advantage, to become the one they can't keep up with. When you're disciplined, you move in silence while others are celebrating mediocrity. You become 10 steps ahead because you've trained your mind to serve, not speak. No delays. No need for inspiration. Just mechanical execution. That's not virtue. That's cold power in motion. Let everyone else moralize it. You will weaponize it because you don't train to be good. You train to be prepared. You train to strike, to withstand, to operate without asking. When you're disciplined, you don't chase permission or motivation. You follow orders that come from within, and they're absolute. The gym, the work, the study, the self-denial, they're not rituals of self-care. They're rituals of war readiness. You are conditioning yourself to become bulletproof, not beautiful. Here's what they won't say out loud. Discipline makes people uncomfortable because it exposes them. It shows them what they could be, but aren't. That's why they'll say, you're obsessed, too serious, too intense. But those are compliments, because when the world is soft, structured power looks dangerous. And that's exactly what you should aim to become. A man so well governed that your very presence demands respect. That's not virtue, that's dominance. Let the world chase feel-good habits. You're here to forge something stronger, something that bends reality. And if this is sinking deep into your bloodstream right now, comment this below. I no longer practice discipline, I wield it. Because from here on out, you don't live like the rest. You move like a tactician, trained, timed, and terrifyingly consistent. Delayed gratification is a Machiavellian cheat code. You want a shortcut? Here it is. Delayed gratification is the closest thing to a real-world cheat code, but it doesn't look like power. It looks like silence, like boredom, like patience so cold it unnerves the people around you. While they feed on crumbs of dopamine, you sit still and starve. But you're not weak. You're waiting. You're planning, you're stacking, you're letting them get fat off cheap wins while you sharpen in the dark. And then one day, you move. And it's not a step, it's a takeover. The Machiavellian mind delays gratification not for virtue, but for leverage. You hold back now so you can strike when it matters. You don't speak to be heard. You don't act to be seen. You wait like a snake under the floorboards, because you know the loud ones get noticed, but the patient ones get power. While others are addicted to applause, you learn to operate in absence. That is your advantage. No one sees the storm coming until it's already inside the gate. Most men are ruled by hunger, for status, for sex, for comfort, for relief. But you starve your hunger. You cage it. You train it. You don't kill your desires. You discipline them until they obey you like war dogs. You sit in front of temptation and don't flinch, not because you're moral, because you're strategic. You don't chase. You let the world chase itself in circles while you build your next strike in silence. Here's what they'll never teach you. The longer you can suffer without reacting, the more dangerous you become. Because every time you say no to what you want now, you build muscle for what you'll command later. You train your nervous system to delay reward. And once you master that, you control your time, your mind, your life. Most men won't even last 10 minutes without a distraction. You're about to outlast years. That's not discipline. That's psychological warfare. You're no longer living for now. You're living like a tactician. Every skipped pleasure is a coin banked in the vault of domination. Every ignored impulse becomes a sharpened weapon. And every delayed reward builds the kind of discipline that makes you untouchable. You don't need to hustle harder, you just need to wait smarter. And when that moment finally arrives, when you cash in everything you've saved, no one will understand how you moved so fast, so far, so ruthlessly. If this spoke directly to your cold instincts, leave this phrase in the comments. I wait, I watch, I win. Remember this, the man who can delay his hunger ends up owning the feast. The strategic use of emotional isolation. Emotional isolation is not loneliness. It's not sadness. It's not detachment from the world. It's detachment from weakness. While the average man bleeds for attention, you sharpen in silence. You do not seek to be understood. You do not chase comfort. You learn to stand alone so completely that no betrayal, no absence, no disappointment can crack you. You don't harden out of bitterness. You harden because softness gets exploited. You train yourself to feel without obeying, to process without reacting, to notice without responding. Most men are puppets. Pull the right string and they dance. Offend them and they explode. Praise them and they crumble. Their emotional systems are unguarded. Yours isn't. Yours is sealed, vaulted, weaponized. You can feel fury and still speak calmly. You can feel pain and still show up. That's not detachment. That's dominance over the inner kingdom. And that kingdom must be governed by you, not your memories, not your trauma, not some old guilt clinging to your ribcage. You rip all that out. You sit with the coldness. You endure the withdrawal from attention. You go through emotional detox until your soul stops screaming for validation, until you realize you were never supposed to be understood. You were supposed to be feared. You were supposed to be sovereign. Let them misunderstand you. Let them call you distant. Let them say you've changed. Good. That means it's working. The more still you become inside, the more unstable they'll become around you. Your calm will unnerve them. Your silence will intimidate them. Your refusal to emotionally flinch will register as something alien. And that's exactly what you want. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to be unreadable. People crave transparency because they want to control you. But mystery is protection. Confusion is defense. You show less. You reveal less. You train people to stop expecting emotional access to you. They'll beg for your reactions and you'll give them none. They'll push for vulnerability and you'll respond with cold, tactical stillness. Why? Because what they don't know, they can't use. And what they can't read, they can't reach. Isolation gives birth to clarity. You'll begin to see the games, the emotional traps, the manipulation tactics wrapped in sweetness, the guilt campaigns, the subtle power plays. And because you've disconnected from the need to belong, you'll resist them all without blinking. You will see people's real faces. You'll hear the true message behind every word. Because silence sharpens your perception and solitude trains your instincts. Understand this. Being emotionally self-contained doesn't mean you're numb. It means you're dangerous. You still feel. You just don't display. You don't vent. You don't overshare. You absorb. You calculate. And you act with surgical precision. Your heart is still alive, but it answers to your mind, not the other way around. That is the difference between a king and a pawn. And from that place of isolation, you become a mirror. People begin projecting onto you. Their fears, their stories, their shame, they all appear in your stillness. You watch them unravel trying to get a reaction. You'll see their insecurities in how loudly they speak. You'll see their envy in the compliments they wrap with subtle insult. And you? You say nothing. You simply observe. Then you act with perfect timing. That is how emotional isolation becomes a strategic weapon, not for retreat, for power. You move in quiet. You don't explain your motives. You let people underestimate you. You don't correct their assumptions. You don't chase closure. You don't react